Now the moment you've all been waiting for, degrees of Kevin Bacon. How far is an actor or an actress away from Kevin Bacon? There's a really cool thing that Neo4j can do, and it's called something called use shortest path. So it'll actually do a pathfinding algorithm on your graph database. And if you don't know how to do pathfinding, there's another course on Front-End Masters from this guy that talks about pathfinding algorithms. So you can actually take a course and figure out how it does that. But let's see how this works with Neo4j. So I want to find out what's the shortest path between any actor. So in this case, let's just do Keanu Reeves. How many degrees away from Kevin Bacon is Keanu Reeves? So I'm going to say match. I'm going to call this a path of some variety. And that's going to be equal to shortest path. It's a very aptly named thing. Okay, and then I'll put here, we'll have Bacon as Lord Bacon, as I like to sometimes call him, person, and name is Kevin Bacon. Okay, and then here we're going to describe a relationship, and here we're going to say any relationship. We don't care what the relationship is, so I'm going to say star, so that's going to include directed, followed, wrote. We're just looking for any connection between two people. If we wanted to only look in acted in, then here we would put acted in. But in this particular case, we don't care. We want to see all relationships possible between Kevin Bacon and Keanu Reeves. So we'll say, and actually we don't even want an arrow there because both of them are going to have directional relationships. So if I leave this angle bracket out, it'll actually just query for any directional relationship. It won't look at the direction of the relationship, which is what we want. And we'll put Keanu, who's a person, and the name is Keanu Reeves. Okay. And then underneath that, we're just going to say return path, like that. Oh yeah. If you had a massive graph database, this could be a very potentially expensive query. We don't care, so we're just going to ignore this little warning right there. So if I click play here, then we're going to see the shortest path between Kevin Bacon and Keanu Reeves, which is going to go through Something's Gotta Give to Jack Nicholson to A Few Good Men to Kevin Bacon. Pretty cool, right? We now have like a database that we can query to figure out connections between actors and actresses. Let's say like we wanted to do, probably should have just named this like P or something like that. And so instead of, we could do here Charlize Theron, I think that's how you spell her name. There you go. Charlize Theron was in That Thing You Do with Tom Hanks, who was in Apollo 13 with Kevin Bacon. So there's a bunch of different these kind of like functions to find paths between people. A path is a data type in Neo4j that allows you to look at kind of paths around your database. Like you can imagine, let's say you're on LinkedIn, for example, and you want to find what's the shortest path between me and the, I don't know, CEO of Salesforce or something like that, right? You could do this kind of same thing to say like, well, I know this person worked with this person, and this person did a project with this other person, and that's how we're connected, right? But it doesn't even have to be people, right? Like one of the examples here in this database is logistics, right? So what's the easiest way for me to obtain milk, right? You can say like, well, I can work with this distributor that is connected to this dairy farm. You can use, kind of, you can derive those kind of insights as well from graphs. So graphs are really cool. They can describe lots of things that are not just movies, but it's a pretty concrete way for you to imagine that. So just to kind of show you how you would do this kind of in Cypher shell without this neat visualization, because again, if you ran this query, for example, if you ran this in Cypher shell here, this is going to be, you're going to get all these things back. This is kind of unreadable. So what you could do here, if I put length path here like this will tell me at least how long, right? So length path would be 4. You have to take 4 hops to get there. Let's, another good way for us to visualize in Cypher shells where we don't have these kind of fun visualizations is we can use something called unwind. So I'm going to show you how to do that really quick. So we have this path. This path thing is like, it's a big data structure, and we want to have a more useful way where we can actually just see listed out all of the titles and names for these connections. So what you can do instead of that is we can say unwind nodes of path. So when we say nodes, or is it just node? No, it is nodes. Okay. We're going to unwind the nodes of the path. So we're going to ignore the relationships for now. As node, and this is basically essentially like kind of a for loop for Neo4j. So now whatever gets run underneath this is going to be run multiple times. So this is going to get run for each node in our particular path. So I'm going to say return, and I want to return names and titles, right? Because some things have names and some things have titles. People have names, movies have titles. So I need to return both of them. So there's a cool thing called coalesce. And I can say node.name or node.title as, I don't know, name or title. Or we can even do it this way. Yeah, name or title. I'll do it like that. Okay. So now what this will do is it's going to coalesce is going to say, if this exists, I'm going to return that. If not, then I'm going to go to the second thing, and the second thing will be title. So if I click play here, you can see here, now it just returns Kevin Bacon, Apollo 13, Tom Hanks, that thing you do, Charlize Theron, right? So it kind of unwinds that so that we can kind of pull the individual pieces out of these particular elements that we want to.